Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Average Korean Man from South Korea. I am on the way to meet my fiance, and I thought it would be a good idea to tell you a little bit about myself on the way to meet my fiance, since I got some time. Today's topic is going to be why I don't have friends. Actually, let me rephrase that again. I like to say why I don't have many friends. Okay, so I do have friends. I like to say I have 3 friends. I have 3 friends. They are all from high school, and we were in the same class in the last year of high school, and I meet them regularly, about 3 to 4 times a year. Definitely not 5 times a year, 3 to 4 times a year. And they are the only people, not just friends, they're the only people I meet regularly, except my fiance. And of course, I know some other guys, but I meet them like once in maybe 2 years, once in 3 years. I don't know. I really don't meet other people. And I like to say there are 2 reasons that I only have few friends. First one is I'm an introvert person, but not like super introvert, but I like to spend time, by myself sometimes. But I also like going out and meeting people, but I still need some time for myself. And second reason is because I don't drink alcohol, and that is I have Asian flush. I'm not sure if you have heard of Asian flush, and that's what I have. So let's see what Asian flush means. So Asian flush syndrome is common amongst those of Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. Getting a red face after downing alcohol beverages is not a sign of strong QI. Don't know what that means, QI, or good blood circulation, but rather it is an indication that your body is not metabolizing alcohol efficiently. So yeah, that's what it is. This is due to a deficiency within an enzyme called ALDH2, which breaks down alcohol in the liver. The flesh affects East Asians, and about 30 to 50 of Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans react to drinking by getting red. So that's what Asian flush is. And I have Asian flush. Not only me, my mom does, my sister does, and I do. My father is fine, he can drink alcohol. So I'll explain what happens to me, and not just to me, but to those people who have Asian flush. And of course, the symptoms are a little different depending on how serious you have the Asian flush. And for me, when I drink a shot of soju, soju is a Korean drink. When I drink a shot of soju, that is totally fine. But if I drink 2 shots of soju, my face goes red. But if I drink 3 or 4 shots of soju, not just my face, but my chest, the upper side of my body also becomes red, and my heart starts to beat fast. And if I drink about, I say, 6 or 7 shots of soju, it becomes hard for me to breathe. So that's what happens to me when I drink alcohol. And probably other people who have Asian flush have same symptoms, but some people have more severe symptoms, some people have less symptoms. And drinking culture is huge here in Korea. I'm not sure if you have been to Korea, but drinking culture is huge here. You know, especially when you gather around with people, there's always alcohol involved. And when someone says, let's hang around, you know, sometime, that means alcohol involved, usually. So, you know, I like doing sports. I like to hang out with people, actually. I like doing sports, I like doing things, but there's always alcohol involved afterwards. After whatever it is. After playing football, there is alcohol involved. After playing like board game, maybe there is alcohol involved. And that is the part that I don't like, the alcohol part. You know, I'm fine with playing football or like basketball or whatever, or hiking or whatever, but I don't like going, you know, to drink afterwards. Nowadays, actually, even if you don't drink alcohol, many people understand and accept that, and they will say, you don't drink alcohol? Okay, that's fine with me. But back in like 10 years ago, when I was in the university, that was not like acceptable. Let's say I'm hanging out with, you know, people after doing some kind of activities, and what used to happen is that if I did not drink alcohol, people would look at me and ask me, why do you not drink alcohol? And I said, I don't want to, I don't like it. And people would say, you're ruining the atmosphere, come on, you know, you're no fun. If you're not gonna enjoy, why are you here? You know, people would say things like that. And I would tell them, my body just cannot take alcohol. You know, it doesn't, my body cannot digest alcohol. And I go red and stuff like that. And people would say, oh yeah, that's because you're not used to drinking alcohol. If you drink like every day, you'll be fine. That's what people used to tell me. As a person who has Asian flush, and I'm pretty sure Koreans who have Asian flush would agree with me. And as a person who has Asian flush, that sounds stupid. That is stupid, you know? I'm a person who should not drink alcohol, not just me and people who have Asian flush. My body just cannot digest alcohol. And many people back, you know, like 10 years ago or so, did not know about that, I think. And that's why they could say things like that to me, you know. Oh, that's because you're not used to drinking alcohol. You drink every day, you'll be fine. You'll get used to it. What a silly thing to say, right? And I think that is the reason why I started to not join the activities. Even if I like doing activities, I just did not like the after party, you know, drinking alcohol and stuff. But like I said, you know, people these days don't really mind even if you don't drink alcohol. They would understand. And actually, you did drink alcohol until I would say mid-20s, just to please others. I didn't want to, but you know, if I didn't drink alcohol, they would say silly stuff like that to me. So I did drink alcohol, you know, to like keep the atmosphere, I would say, to keep the fun vibe. And I got tired of doing that, and since I would say the late 20s or mid 20s, I just did not go out to meet people. And yeah, that's the story. And the reason why I meet these 3 friends that I talked about in the beginning of this video is because back in 10 years ago, when people treated not drinking alcohol as a weird thing and said silly things about that, these 3 friends have never said anything, you know, about not drinking alcohol, and they did not mind if I drank something else. And they would always ask me, you want a glass of beer, or do you want a shot of soju? And I would say no, and they would call the waiter and say, excuse me, can we get a can of Coke, or can of something else that's non-alcoholic beverage. They would order something else for me. So they were really the only friends that truly understood, even if I did not drink alcohol. Not only that, but 10 years ago, it was not easy for me to leave the party early by myself, because if I did, and they would look at me and say, again, silly things like, you're no fun, you're ruining the vibe and stuff like that. So I had to stay at the party until everyone's finished. And my friends really did not care about that either. And if I said, look, I think I gotta go, I need to take a rest, and they'd be like, okay, see you next time, or be like, yeah, it's time for us to go home too, so let's all go home together. So these three are the really true friends, I think. And like I said, this kind of culture has disappeared a lot these days. It still exists a little bit, but not as bad as 10 years ago. But the reason why I still don't go to these parties or gatherings, even though this kind of culture has disappeared a lot, is because I don't feel like I need more friends. I'm really happy spending time with my fiance. Yeah, so that's why I don't need other people, actually. And if you meet an Asian guy or a girl who says, sorry, I cannot drink alcohol because of blah blah blah, please don't force them to drink. Asian flush is a real thing. It's really difficult for people who have Asian flush syndrome. And yeah, this is the end of the video for today, everyone. Thank you for watching my video once again. See you next time. Bye bye.